corporate gossip. We will doing a juicy dip into Nintendo latest blow up. Get ready, folks. This news will shock you.
Hey, I just found a funny joke on my phone. Want to tell it to you? Hey, what did the psychologist say when a man wearing nothing but saran wrap walked into the office?
I don't know.
You've got to be nuts. Anyway, let's talk about this shocking news. For those of you who don't know, originally founded in 1889 as a producer of playing cards and toys, Nintendo is a multinational tech company focusing on consoles and games. You might know their best and most iconic games, Zelda, which I know you play every day, Pokemon, and Mario. Most recently, they relaunched a highly successful Nintendo Switch.
Before we go deep into the gossip, I think we should discuss the major players and structure of Nintendo.
First, Shuntaro, the president of Nintendo Japan, Reggie, the president and chief operating officer Nintendo America, and Stephen, operating officer and president of Nintendo Europe. And then there comes a team of Australia: Tom, managing director; Liam, head of marketing; Molly, head of sales; Frank, head of France; Nancy, head of human resource; and Ben, head of localization.
Let's look at the recap of what happened last week from our spy camp at the Nintendo's Worldwide Australian headquarters. Stay tuned, as we will debrief the team's personalities after the recap.
Welcome to Nintendo Australia. We are so very grateful that you have taken time to make the long trip down under.
So I will keep this short, as I can see that everyone is ready to get this party started.
Yep.
Okay, I just want to talk about our amazing products.
When are we getting the Nintendo 62 Mini?
Obvious. Good question. We know that consumers enjoy playing those legacy games. And we also know that we have done a lot in making that content available.
What about the Virtual Console? Is that coming back?
The Virtual Console successor is Nintendo Switch, right? There's going to be additional online capability provided in those games. Okay, enough from me now. Tom, congratulations to your team for 25.
Thank you, Reggie. Your kind words mean so much to me and to everyone here at Nintendo Australia. Okay, everyone, it's time to eat and drink. Well, except for Ben.
I can't believe the way Ben was behaving during the speeches.
I know, that was very unprofessional.
He's drunk, so drunk. Every time we have one of these functions, he drinks the way too much. What about Ben?
Molly, you need to stop talking about Ben. You know what he's going through right now. He's under enormous pressure here at Nintendo and at home.
So please, stop making excuses for him. Ben isn't a very nice person, and the reason why he's behind on his work is because he's terrible at his job.
Molly, I really don't want to get in the middle of this.
You're such a fence-sitter, Nancy. I thought we were friends. You know Ben doesn't even like you. He was talking about you the other day. Pick a side.
What's going on? You make friends wherever you go, Molly.
Oh shit, it's me, Ben. Of course, you step up for Nancy and Ben.
Someone needs to.
I'm sick of working with you, idiot.
Molly, what did you just say?
You misunderstood me.
My hearing works just fine. I won't leave my office first thing tomorrow morning. We need to have a little talk.
Molly isn't a team player.
What do you mean?
Molly is just out for herself.
She seemed really upset.
She's always like that.
Monty is usually very composed.
She's such a professionalist. She doesn't care about anyone else in the team. She will take the credit for everyone else's work. I'm sick of her.
When she had to fix some of our group errors from time to time.
My errors? What errors? I just did what Nintendo officer up told me to do.
Yeah, that's the problem. They don't show any initiative. They don't take any risk. You just produce the same thing over and over again. Why have to show you what to do? Yeah, sometimes we're tied up. All the decisions are made by Nintendo of Japan and America. Little Nintendo of Europe. Europe has what we can do and can do. Nintendo Australia doesn't really have much to say. You just don't want to take risk.
Risks don't always pay off. Nintendo got slaughtered. Low profit meant no bonuses or pay rises. Why should I work hard when I'm not going to be awarded anything?
What kind of attitude is that to have about your job?
So you do more than what you have to do.
Of course, I love my job. I have such a creative job. You are at marketing and no one knows about this. About Nintendo.
Well, you keep your voices down. Everyone can hear you. I'm so ashamed of my team.
Wow, that's some juicy drama. We need to debrief on their personalities too. Over to you, organizational structure and personality guru.
Huge thanks for having me on the show. Today we're going to talk about the Big Five personality theory in order to analyze the Australian team's dynamics. The five-factor model scores people based on 5 broad dimensions of personality, which I'll briefly do. First, we'll start with Liam. We believe that Liam is low on agreeableness. We saw that Liam didn't want to work hard and support the team in times of difficulty. He is unreliable and lacks ownership, which relates to him being low in conscientiousness. Liam doesn't want to take risks and prefers to follow corporate guidelines, which correlates to low openness. Next, we'll talk about Ben. Others always say that Ben is on an emotional roller coaster. He is high in neuroticism and feels open to sharing his opinion. He's also high in extrovertedness and low in conscientiousness by the way he interacts with the group and party. Nancy. Nancy exhibits a low amount of extrovertedness due to her lack of outside gratification. Further, Nancy is high in neuroticism and does not act like she would bounce back from stressful events quickly, as shown by the time that she cried at Molly's confrontation. On the other hand, Nancy also tries to avoid conflict and puts others' feelings first, demonstrating high agreeableness. Next is Frank. Similar to Nancy, Frank is high in agreeableness, showing that he cares about and understands what others are going through. Molly, on the other hand, seems to exhibit low agreeableness and high neuroticism by her heated interactions with Ben, Nancy, and the rest of the team. Finally, Tom. The most obvious trait that Tom exhibits is extroversion, by the way he interacts at the party. At the same time, Tom seems low in agreeableness by the way that he disciplines his employees at the party. That's a ton of personality for such a small group, which is definitely a contributing factor to those problems mentioned previously. Let's take a look at social environment as well. As evidenced by the interactions of the employees which we saw earlier, Nintendo Australia seems to foster high levels of both intergroup conflict and intergroup conflict. Let's first start with intergroup conflict, which I'll briefly define. Intergroup conflict refers to incompatibilities among group members. We will refer to three: relationship conflicts, task conflicts, and process conflicts. Relationship conflicts involve disagreements among group members about interpersonal issues such as personality differences or differences in norms and values. Relationship conflict exists when there are interpersonal incompatibilities among group members, which typically includes tension, animosity, and annoyance among members within a group. Task conflicts entail disagreements among group members about the content and outcomes of the tasks at hand, including differences in viewpoints, ideas, and opinions. Finally, process conflicts refer to disagreements among group members about the logistics of task accomplishments, such as the delegation of tasks and responsibilities. Let's begin by looking at relationship conflict. Judging by the excerpt of the exchange at the Nintendo party, various relationship conflicts have affected the day-to-day processes of the group. A couple of examples include Molly's disdain towards Ben in the dialogue in her direct quote, "Ben isn't a very nice person, and the reason why he's behind his work is because he's terrible at his job." We can see that there is personal tension between Ben and Molly, which will automatically be a detriment to their productivity as team members. Molly's interaction with Nancy about Ben after Nancy refuses to get involved in the situation. "You're such a fence-sitter, Nancy. I thought we were friends. You know that Ben doesn't even like you. He was talking about you the other day, so pick a side." Finally, Liam's frustration with Molly. Ugh, she's such a perfectionist. Next, we'll look at task and process conflicts, which are quite similar and go hand in hand. Starting with task conflict, we can see tension between Ben and Liam about the Wii U launch. Ben says, "You didn't show any initiative, you didn't take any risk, you just produced the same thing over and over again." Then he goes on to say that Molly had to show him what to do, and that she was angry she was doing her job. Finally, he says, retailers had no clue what the Wii U was, or if it was any different from the Wii. Consumers didn't even know what the Wii U was. Subsequently, the PlayStation and Xbox One absolutely slaughtered in sales. Liam responds by saying, "Risks don't always pay off. Nintendo got slaughtered with the Wii U, and we've paid the penalty." Lastly, there doesn't seem to be a consensus among the team as to what the processes are to completing the tasks, which denotes a high level of process conflict. This can also speak to how management might play a role in the dysfunction of Nintendo Australia. Frank mentions that all the decisions are made by Nintendo of Japan and Nintendo of America. They tell Nintendo of Europe what to do, and subsequently, Nintendo of Europe tells us what to do, what we can and can't do. Nintendo Australia does not have a say, to which Ben disagrees and says, "Oh please, you totally have a say." Following up on my last point, there's little to no communication between the different global offices based off of what Frank says, which leads me to believe there is little to no intergroup communication, which is communication between two separate groups. This is further exemplified by Ben's constant badgering of Reggie about the new products on the horizon, denoting a lack of transparency from the top to bottom. With regards to management, Tom is not managing his relationship, task, and process conflicts effectively, as they seem to be disruptive and ongoing. He expresses disappointment in his team members in a similar way that they approach conflicts among themselves, by the way he disciplines or expresses his frustration in the team. As such, he fosters the abusive culture that is evident within Nintendo Australia. Examples include when he calls Ben out for drinking too much in front of everyone and says aloud, "I'm so ashamed of my team."
Cheers for the robust personality and social environment. Environment aside, let's look at some recommendations for Nintendo. We will now hear from our organization behavior expert.
Hi, my name is Nikita Nayak and I'm an organizational behavior expert from the University of Macquarie. In my opinion, the main factors contributing to the communication problems are the use of the grapevine and the negative impact it has on the organizational culture, and also the use of inappropriate channels of communication. The grapevine is the informal gossip and communication network within a given organization. As in the previous example, we could see of the grapevine, we could see that Molly was trying to convey to Nancy information about Ben, behind Ben's back, and effectively gossiping. Gossip and information passed through a grapevine can strongly influence how listeners perceive others. In example with Molly and Nancy, Molly was actually unable to influence Nancy's perception of Ben. The solution which I recommend is to actually control the grapevine. Gossip through the grapevine can negatively impact the workplace culture. And the grapevine, however, it can be influenced by the management, and the following proactive strategies can help benefit with the positive consequences inherent in the grapevine activity. First, for example, we can create an organizational culture based on trust and transparency. Be transparent where possible around the important information that impacts employees. Respect the employees' needs to know and understand organizational issues. For example, Ben was not clear why Liam needed to follow Europe's guidelines. By providing Ben with the information, perhaps we would be more supportive of Liam's work. And third is empower all employees through allowing them to be aware and part in the decision making. The solution to which is to choose the appropriate channel of communication. When communicating with others, it is important to understand the most appropriate and effective communication channel. Communication channel can be through a text message, email, phone call, written report face-to-face, or through online communication just like Skype. There are different characteristics to consider when choosing the channel, which includes speed, feedback, selectivity, acceptance, cost, and accountability. In the animation, we could see that there were times where the right channel was not utilized and the people were not clear on the key initiatives likely due to poor communication channel management. Tom openly called out Molly in front of her peers when Molly said that she was sick of working with these idiots. Tom said that he wanted to discuss Molly's comment first thing in the morning. And by Tom communicating this in front of others, they know that Molly will be in some sort of consequences. And this in turn may start rumor mill. In this example, instead of communicating this message face-to-face in front of everyone, Tom could have shared this need for Molly to meet with him to discuss her poor behavior through email communication. And also additionally, based on the many different interpretations of how the VU was launched, for major projects, the team should review how they communicate key strategies to ensure they capture, they're aligned behind the strategic initiatives. And face-to-face meetings, where meeting notes are captured and distributed through email, may be beneficial to the long-term organizational alignment. Secondly, the problem of team building. All the decisions are made by the Nintendo of Japan and the Nintendo of America, and they tell Nintendo of Europe what to do, and subsequently Nintendo of Europe tells the Australian branch what they can do or what they can't do. Nintendo of Australia does not really have much of a say when it comes to sales and marketing. And the solution that I would recommend for this is to spend time to design an effective team. In order to build a sustainable team, we need to focus on the design. We believe that in each department they can improve their task interdependence, where it can be seen that as how much members interact with and rely on each other for the information, materials, and resources needed to accomplish work for the team. As an Australian Nintendo leadership team, it is important that the roles and responsibility are clarified so that the leaders understand the sequential tasks of the departments, so reach and reciprocal interdependence is reached. Lastly, Nintendo should review their organizational structure and determine how they can leverage their global metrics structure and to achieve their long-term goals. And also in team building, the solution to which I would recommend is to build the team's leadership capability and trust through mutual trust, mutual performance, and adaptability. This all can be built up by organizing team building activities, interactive and knowledge sharing sessions, for instance, break the ice activity. All this would help the team members to know each other and perform better. Like the grudges that Ben and Molly had inside them in regards to the performance of the team members must be clarified initially only rather than creating negative perceptions and attitudes for each other. As Tom being the head of Australia, it is necessary for him to understand the system, context, and linkage across multiple levels, individual, team, and organizing, as key sources of contingencies or demands on the team that necessitates alignment team processes. Last but not the least, lack of motivation is one of the major problems. Motivation of the team, we can think of motivation as someone's general drive or inclination to do or not to do something. There are two types of motivation, intrinsic and extrinsic. People who are intrinsically motivated do an activity because they find it interesting and drive spontaneous satisfaction from the activity itself. Those who are extrinsically motivated do an activity due to the consequences such as tangible or verbal rewards. The Nintendo Australia leaders are motivated by different things, and as a collective group, this leads to conflict. Ben is intrinsically motivated by autonomy and having creative freedom over the work he does. Liam is more motivated by money and is focused on ensuring he receives his pay rise and bonus. And Liam is less concerned about the autonomy of his role. The solution which I recommend will be to create a vision that drives autonomy, relatedness, and competence. Creating a common vision that the team can relate to will help the team shift their motivation from extrinsic to intrinsic. Long term, if the team is intrinsically motivated to drive the results of Nintendo, this will likely increase business and team performance. If we think back to the Gagné and Desai research on self-determination theory, we can conclude that in order for an individual to be motivated in their role, they need to have an autonomy, relatedness, and competency. As a leader, Tom needs to create a culture where employees are empowered to drive results, build a team that is willing to care and trust each other, and break down barriers amongst departments and ensure that each employee is increasing their competence through mentoring, education, and new experiences. And the solution to that I would recommend is to practice self-regulation. The team has different urges and impulses that does not always respond appropriately in specific situation. For example, we saw that Ben often interrupts others and Molly likes to gossip behind people's back. Self-regulation refers to the capacity of an individual to override and alter their responses. It is the process by which people attempt to constrain unwanted urges in order to gain control and incipient a response. We believe that the team can practice self-regulation, and management needs to ensure that they provide guidance and standards. Management also needs to monitor to ensure that the employees are following standards, motivate and empower to ensure employees have the willpower to improve to drive the appropriate standards.
As per the recommendations, the timeline would be that Nintendo in the 3 months would be able to have communication and management can provide guidelines. In the 9 months, it can provide motivation to the team through recognition and rewards and create an organizational structure. In the 12 months or 1.5 month time period, they can design an effective team structure and organizational structure development for the overall working structure of the Nintendo.
Well, we sure did learn a lot about Nintendo, and we hope they do work on their communication, motivation, and teamwork building. If they don't, well, I guess we'll have more gossip. That's not all that bad, is it now?
I'd like to end the show with what Henry Ford said about teamwork. Coming together is beginning, keeping together is progress, working together is success.
Well, that sure is inspirational. Thanks for sharing that. And thanks again for listening to Corporate Gossip. It's been a pleasure today, and we want to thank all of our special guests for coming to join us, and we hope you enjoyed our segment on Nintendo. Thank you.